Oh, no. ¿Son esas lágrimas de tristeza o son de cortar esas irritantes cebollas?
Le presentamos el sorprendente continente
Coronavirus.
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 Diga, ¿dónde está la fiesta? Diga, ¿dónde está la fiesta? Diga, ¿dónde está la fiesta? Diga, ¿dónde está la fiesta?
You're listening to the 199th podcast. This is episode 37.
Why does she have a job? Think it through. Play the tape out. What's your mother got a job for? Huh? In case what? In case what? In case you fail. In case it don't work out. Yes, man. She's filling your head full of fear. I don't do that, do I? Huh? I come full of strength. I'm cheerleading. And trust me.
Hey there, People from Newgrounds, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. Thanks for joining the 37th episode of the 199X. You just heard two brand new songs. It's called, the last song was called Textured Glass. Really deep, full on techno track. And the first one is a melodic psytrance. It's called Dónde está la fiesta? Where is the party? Exactly. We're all asking the same thing. Where the hell is the party? Where's all the clubs? Everything is closed. What is going on with the scene? Where is the electronic music scene heading to? Is it heading somewhere? Are clubs gonna go out of business? Nobody really knows. But streams seem to be kind of being the stepfather of this. So I guess time will tell. But we can't help but ask ourselves, why the hell is music dying? Yeah, it's a pretty deep question, and there is no answer. And yeah, that's what this track talks about. It's a void. It's a void. We can't help but just stare into that void. That thing that used to bring us happiness, used to make us feel complete. Now it's gone. It's gone, and we feel incomplete. And it's a feeling that you can't put your finger on it, because it's a mixture of I don't know. It's a mixture of I guess sadness, and it's also makes you well. It's kind of a feeling of anguish as well. So I thought I might I don't know, just talk about why the hell did I get into music and how did I get into music. I think it's something that I should have talked about a long time ago. It's already episode 37. I've been doing this for about 3 years, and I have never even talked about how did I get into music. Where did I, like, what were my first steps in music? And I thought I might share this with you guys in a short, brief segment. So okay, here we go. My musical roots are basically religious. I came from a very religious family, and I can't help but get all my inspirations from religious music, because my family used to take me to church, and I was there listening to these songs, and it was my first. Impression of music, and it was the first time I actually conceived music as in my head as something, as a concept, as something that actually served a purpose. I would realize that I would hate going to this masses. It was 1 hour, and it felt like 3 hours for me. So I would realize that every time they did this music, this song thing, that actually time would go faster, because I would be constantly looking at the wristwatch, and I would actually realize that every time they did a song, the time would go faster. And that's about my first time I had the concept of music and songs actually serving a purpose, being something useful and not something just floating in the air. And that was me very very little. And the first time I really got into listening to some specific kind of music, because it was I think it's when I got an MP3. I got an MP3 player, because I asked for an MP3 player, because I started wanting to get my own space at listening movie soundtracks. I wanted to listen to the soundtracks of movies I have actually seen in the past, and I wanted to listen to them when I was I don't know, in the car, in a road trip or something. I wanted to have my own access to music, because I wanted to be able to play this music in the background. I just wanted to have background music for my life, and then MP3 was the first thing that actually gave me this control. I could actually choose what was playing in the background, and I had this. I think I had Lord of the Rings 3 soundtrack. I played it all the times. I had the Phantom of the Opera, the whole soundtrack of the play. I played it all the time, and I remember this time we were with my family. We were in a house in the middle of the fields. It was in the middle of nowhere, I think. And yeah, we had this satellite TV, and we didn't have satellite TV back at home, so it was kind of a new thing. You had like 900 channels, I think, and the higher you got to the channels, the weirder it got. That's how I remember it. So if you got to 600, 700, you started getting this weird channels about conspiracy theories and ghosts. And if you got like to 800, I think it was channels. I think were already in other language, and if you got to 900, you started getting the music channels. So I was like, hey, music channels. I would start listening to them. I think 950. There were even video games. You could even play video games in that satellite TV, and there was this channel that would play Linkin Park Haver Theory, and I would listen to that with my brother. We would learn the lyrics and just sing over them. It was a blast. We would have so much fun, and it was my first first memory of feeling music of something that would be fun. It was so fun because there was nothing to do in that house. It was in the middle of nowhere, so we would just listen to Haver Theory, Linkin Park, nonstop. We would learn the lyrics, and it was really cool music because it was really angsty music. And I was in that age. I would hear the lyrics like this thing like, you don't get me. I want to run away from this. I don't want to be like you. It was exactly what I wanted to hear, and it was kind of a love at first sight with Linkin Park. It was like my first music, first band actually, the first band I could relate to. And the first band I actually followed, of course, I never got to see them because I think they came once to Argentina, but I don't know. I never got to see them. But yeah, that was the first time I actually conceived music as something useful. Um, and I did want to learn to play an instrument because, well, I wanted to get girls, and my flirt game was really bad. So I said like, okay, what's the easiest thing to do if you don't know, if you have like no game? Well, I knew that if you played instruments, it would actually make things much easier, and it did. It actually did. So I learned how to play the guitar, but I was embarrassed for anyone to see me play guitar or actually learn guitar. I just wanted to be good. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I didn't want to learn. So I like allowed myself only to play guitar when I knew there was nobody around. So I would wait for my family to leave me alone, and then I would go to my sister's bedroom. I would steal her guitar because she took guitar lessons like once, so she had a guitar she never played, and I would take that guitar and I would play and make sure nobody was listening to me. And I don't know, I think there were like 3 videos in YouTube like how to play guitar. YouTube is kind of still a new thing, but there were a couple of videos you could actually learn a thing or two. And I learned how to play Story to Heaven. That was pretty cool. I learned how to play I think it was Knocking on Heaven's Door. Yeah, Knocking on Heaven's Door was probably the first song I ever managed to play the strum the chords and sing the lyrics. And I also learned how to play religious music, and that connected me with people in my school who also play guitar. So they were like, "Hey, we play the same instruments. We already had our own songs because we were learning this chord progressions, and we started writing our own songs with our own lyrics." So I started forming a band. I formed a duet, and then that duet became a band. And all of a sudden, I was playing in 2 bands. I was playing in a rock band. I was playing in an acoustic band. We were doing like this, I don't know, this home gigs and playing our own songs to our friends. I remember our first gig at a bar. It was crazy because we had to pay to play at the place, and they made us sign a contract where we would actually put the name of the band, and each member would sign, and we were blown. We were like, "Whoa, man, we're actually making it. We're signing a contract." Now it just seems ridiculous for me to think that that was actually a good thing for us to sign a contract. It didn't mean anything, but yeah, we were pretty psyched that first gig, and that band was we played for a while with that band, and after that, I think it was the age of 17, 18, kind of formed like a super band, like fellow musicians who were playing in other bands. We all came together and we formed this band. It was a really, really good band. It was called Andorra, and it was a really balanced band. I think we worked well because we all listened to each other, and everybody put their own thing. It wasn't just one person saying what others should do. And that band, I think people really liked us. We played some really cool gigs, but I decided to go on an exchange program because I was studying architecture back then. So I went on an exchange program to Italy for 1 year, 11 months actually, and I found myself there just with no band. I had brought my instruments, and by that point, I did know something about a music production. I did know how to record myself with a computer, and I had all these ideas for songs that, well, there were songs that actually they didn't fit with the style of the band, so I had set them apart, and I like found myself with all this time, all this silence, and I could actually start working on this tracks, this very personal tracks. So I did an album. I did my first solo album, which was basically me, a guitar, and a bunch of BSTs, like a lot of BSTs, and I didn't really play while I was there. I didn't really do a lot of gigs, but I just focused on doing this album. It was really important for me to do this, and when I came back to my hometown, to Buenos Aires, Argentina, I found that the band, of course, was dissolved, and there was no intention to make the band again. I actually wanted to make the band again, but it didn't happen. So I found myself again with no band, but in my home country, and I wanted to play. So I did a gig. I did a gig or two, and it was me just with a computer and a guitar and looping guitars and microphones and keyboards, and it sounded okay. It was I guess if you were to see that show, it looked really cool because it was just one person looping a bunch of instruments and making soundscapes and stuff and lots of reverb, but it didn't feel good. It didn't it wasn't a fun experience. It wasn't rewarding at all because yeah, I felt like I had no connection to the audience. I felt like this wasn't how I was supposed to feel how to play. Like I had memories of playing with my band live and having a good time, and I wasn't having a good time this way. So um, I didn't do that many times. I just focused on doing more music because I was hooked on this music production program, and I was addicted to making new music, and it just made sense for me to start making like samples and drum machines that would adapt to a techno beat, because it was just what I had in my mind for a drum or a beat was what the house or techno pattern was. I didn't want to do anything fancy, and I have no idea the scene existed. It was until 2016 that a friend of mine, he was like, "Hey, you want to come to this party? We're gonna take ecstasy." And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I'll try anything once." And yeah, I was blown away. I immediately started doing focusing my production, like all of my productions into making that kind of music, because that's where I wanted to be. And it just made sense. I was a solo artist, and it just made much more sense to start being aspiring to be a DJ than aspiring to be this looping solo career, that it wasn't really rewarding, because I think yeah, I think it that's when I kind of did the big click, and said like, okay, I'm gonna just do this. I'm just gonna focus on doing this kind of music. And I started doing this tracks, and I just focused all of my energy in doing this kind of music, and I actually started playing more, because it was easier for me to market myself as DJ than to market myself as an artist that made alternative rock or progressive rock or indie. I would just say, yeah, I play my own tracks. I'm a DJ, and I could be playing at a party or a venue or a birthday. It didn't matter. I could just play my own songs the way I heard them, the way I wanted them to be played, and I was making so much music, and I still am making so much music. This is the 37th episode, means I've been releasing music for 37 months nonstop, and I don't plan on stopping. Actually, the name of the podcast is 199x, because I'm gonna do 199 episodes. Yeah. So that means I'm 37. Not even on 25%. Yeah, still a long time to go. But yeah, I have a lot of plans for making lots of music, and I'm adding this kind of discussion bit. I would like to add some well, maybe guests. Yeah, I definitely have the idea of adding guests and having discussions with guests, and I think that might happen if I talk with some people on Newgrounds. So yeah, if you're listening to this on Newgrounds and you want to be on this podcast, just send me a message, and yeah, we'll just talk about music. I mean, you're a music producer. Hell, if you, I'm even wanting to kind of broaden the spectrum, and not just play my own music in this podcast, but also mix some other producers. That would be awesome. Not because I don't want to do my own music, because I'm still gonna be releasing these tracks, but I want to bring more people in this, and so yeah, if you're listening to this, you're a producer, just send me a message, and we'll talk. Okay, I think that's all. So remember the tracks you heard at the beginning, you can get them in Bandcamp. Just go to 199x Bandcamp. And well, if you're in SoundCloud, you just hit the buy link. And if you're in Newgrounds, there's a bunch of links on the description. And remember, if you go to Bandcamp and you check the tracks, you can actually check some really cool stuff about the making of each track. It's really awesome. It's written in English and in Spanish. So be sure to check that out, because it's some added content to the bit. And I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you next month, next 27. Regarding gigs, I actually did this weird stream thing where I played a set of my music in this. It's called COVID Fest. It's crazy. It's crazy because people are actually making festivals out of this virus thing. But I played a set in that thing. It was pretty cool because it got me in touch with fellow DJs. And yeah, this all this thing is growing while we're inside. So yeah, be sure to follow me if you're into that kind of thing. Just follow me on the socials, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.